all across America. Talk radio and the voices of freedom.
Don't stop talking, don't stop sharing, don't stop laughing, don't stop caring. As long as you've got a voice, don't ever stop.
Oh, that's right. Good morning, good morning, good morning. If you're tuned in this morning, Penny has just given me the look. I posted on Facebook that Representative John McCravy would be with us this morning, and Penny wanted your questions because she's actually doing the interview today. And I know John will like that because he always enjoys seeing Penny. In fact, he usually brings her a treat, so she's going to be confused this morning with no treats. John McCravy, how you doing today?
I'm doing great, Ann, and I'll have to drop by and give Penny a treat later on.
That's right. You're on the telephone here this morning. So, well, you made it through the election process. Your primary,
Ann.
yes.
Yes, it was an incredible experience. We had so much help on the ground here in Greenwood and so many supporters, and we knocked it out of the park much higher than our expectations were. And when we boast, we have to boast in the Lord. So we acknowledge Him in everything we do.
Well, I think it was decisive. That is for sure, John. So congratulations. And so now that you've gotten through that, it's on, of course, to the actual election, and that won't be coming up till November. So have you been taking any time for yourself?
Well, I'm trying to catch up on a lot, and I got stuff around the house I've got to do. I've got a long honey-do list that I couldn't get to during the election.
Okay.
But we're working on that. You know, I'm gonna be in Greenville on Friday. We'll be listening to the candidates there, and you know, frankly, I really see a mission in trying to help David Stumbo get elected. He is an obvious choice for our Attorney General. He's a prosecutor, somebody who's actually done it. And I'm not throwing off on his opponent, but his opponent is not a solicitor. And to be the head solicitor for our state, the head Attorney General, I think that experience is vital.
Well, I think we're all kind of prejudiced, John. I think we're kind of prejudiced since he's our solicitor here, don't you?
Well, that's right, and he's done a wonderful job here, and I hope people around the state know that. And I'm trying to get out the word as best I can around the state to make sure people understand that not only is he a great prosecutor, but he's a humble family guy. He stands for our Christian conservative values, which is very important to me. And the law enforcement community is behind him 100%. And that ought to tell us something right there.
Well, that's true, but he can also sing, John.
Well, he's never. I've never heard that side of him, but maybe I just haven't been around him enough. But that, I guess that's a good talent. I'll never have that talent, so I don't guess I'll ever be Attorney General, right?
Well, maybe not. Maybe not. But yeah, he can. At two of the fundraisers he's had, he's been a singing. So I think that's pretty cool.
That is cool.
Yeah. So when you think across the state, David certainly has racked up a lot of endorsements from our sheriffs and law enforcement, and I think that is terrific. What do you think are his biggest challenges, though?
Well, anytime you do the right thing, you're going to have challenges, and he did the right thing. He did not go out there and just personally attack his opponents. But, that they say that negative advertising works, but I want to commend him for not stooping down and doing that. And I think people are starting to realize he's an honest, good man that is not going to make up lies. He's going to tell the truth.
Well, that is true. Plus, he was endorsed by Pasco, his former opponent, one of his opponents.
He was, and I think Pasco recognized that we need the experience of a solicitor in that position.
Well, he's only got what? They're having a debate. Aren't they having a debate, the solicitors?
That's a good question, Ann. I think there is something, but I can't recall.
Okay.
I just know that we have early voting is starting, tomorrow?
Tomorrow and Thursday.
And Thursday. And the turnout is so low in these runoffs. We just need to get the word out there to get out there and vote for David.
Yes, I think that certainly would be a good thing. I think what was I had Cody Simpson here with me yesterday afternoon on the radio talking about his campaign for the runoff and what was it for the whole state? Was it 15%? I think somebody had said, and that's not great. That's not great for that, even though the turnout was really good for this primary election. But even less than that will actually decide who is moving on for Stumbo, for Cody, for the agriculture commissioner, for the governor candidate on the Republican side.
Every vote matters, and it's just so important for us to turn out. I know he's from Greenwood. He's going to win Greenwood, but we need a volume of voters that can come out and make sure that he gets all the votes he can out of our area.
Absolutely. So, one of the big topics that you weighed in on is these data centers, and there'd been a big question about whether a moratorium, in fact, I think you originally had written up a motion or whatever it's called that county council might like to use, or as you said, they might want to throw it in the trash, that would hold up for a moratorium. John, why did you decide to weigh in on the data centers?
Well, first of all, let me say this. Our county council members, they sacrifice a lot. They do a lot for our community, a lot of stuff behind the scenes people don't even know about. They work hard, and I try never to interfere with their jobs. They do a great job. And I did not get involved in this to try to throw my weight around, Ann. I just know that this was a state issue going on, and I thought input about that would be important. And then second, I am a resident of Greenwood, and this kind of thing does concern me. So I did decide to speak up about it, but not in a way of trying to influence, but just trying to be a humble citizen to some of the things that are controversial with these data centers.
Sure. Now,
and so I did see that there was a 10-0 vote from the Planning Commission for a 2-year moratorium. And I was a little bit surprised when I saw that they were getting votes not to do that, but to pass a regulation that would allow data centers to come. And so without study. So I felt like I just needed to voice my opinion just as a local resident out of respect. And I have 100% respect for our council members. They work hard. But I felt like, they wanted public input, and I felt like I could give mine in this particular issue.
Well, what is the state looking at, John, since you brought up the state, but I don't think anything's concrete, but what are they looking at? What are y'all looking at? You're a representative. What are y'all looking at?
Right. Well, there are two separate bills. One's in the Senate that I'm not as familiar with. The one in the House is just a simple 2-year moratorium. And I think I fall on the side of studying this carefully before we jump out there and get them real quick in our state. And now everybody agrees, I think, that we need data centers for national security. President Trump and the White House have talked to our Republican caucus in South Carolina and made it clear that this is a matter of national security. And so I'm all for data centers. It's just where you put them.
Right.
And South Carolina has many places to put data centers, like closed military bases, like the Savannah River site, like brownfield areas that can't be developed for anything else. And we've got plenty of those sites. And so to me, that's the proper place to put these things. But the Senate bill recognized that. And it said we encourage data centers to go in those type of places where it won't interfere with rural settings, pastoral settings, subdivisions, that kind of thing.
Sure.
So I feel like, that's the discussion that's going on in the State House. Our legislative body doesn't move like lightning, and we're going to probably have a study committee on this, and there'll probably be an ad hoc committee in the state that'll look at this, I'm hoping.
How many years will it take to get this done, John? We all want to know.
Well, I wish I could predict that. I'm one of many in Columbia, and there has to be a consensus in the legislative body to get things done. So I favor that, and a lot of people down there do. And I'm hoping we'll address this as a priority.
All right, as a priority, I think that would be good. Now, just out of curiosity, if the state came in and said we're going to put a moratorium, would that take precedence over whatever other counties in our state had done?
I believe it would, and just like we've passed laws in the past that affect counties, and it would take priority. The county is a political subdivision of the state, and so the state law would have priority over it.
Would Trump? I'm sorry. Would Trump a local ordinance?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it would.
Yeah. Okay.
And I think these federal installations and closed state installations could easily lease this property, and that's what they're talking about at Savannah Riverside. They're talking about leasing 13 different properties out there for these things, and that'll be great. They won't bother anybody. It won't pollute it. The pollution's already there at Savannah Riverside. We know that we've got radiation in the groundwater out there, so you're not going to have development near that area.
Right. That's also interesting on closed bases.
Right. So apparently we have several closed bases in South Carolina. I don't know exactly what they're being used for right now. Even Fort Jackson that's open could lease out. They got a huge amount of property. They could lease out some of that.
Mm. But those would probably, if that was the case, then those would be for the federal government as opposed to private entities?
No, the federal land could be leased to the private agency.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So if you're building a data center, let's say Google's building a data center, they would lease that property from the federal government.
Huh, okay. Well, I know that a lot of people don't want to see our land taken up here in Greenwood County, but then there's Newberry County, Spartanburg, Marion just turned one down. I mean, this is all across the state are issues that people are having with data centers, and I just don't think that people know enough about the effects, nor do I know of anybody else that knows enough about the effects.
Well, that's right. And it's important to research everything before you jump out there and allow it to come.
Okay. Well, moving on to this evening. This evening, they are actually supposed to, at County Council, introduce an amendment or a bill or whatever it's called, amendment, I think it is, for a moratorium for 1 year here in Greenwood County. So that would start the process on the moratorium and still keep the text amendment going on the other side, which won't come up until July 7th meeting on that text amendment. But this would be first reading on this moratorium amendment.
Well, I congratulate council for, being fair and putting both perspectives up and I believe it's a good thing to debate the issue and make a rational decision on it.
Yeah, I agree, and I think that's what the majority of the people here in our Greenwood community wanted, was to have choices here and to have information. So let me ask you a question. We just had a question come in from one of our listeners here, John. He wants to know what local projects are in the state budget that you hope will be approved by the House and then, of course, signed by the governor. Do you know of any projects that are coming this way for Greenwood County?
Well, what they normally do is the Department of Commerce works carefully with our local government on these projects that come in. So I don't know any more about those than anybody else does as far as what's coming down the pike, and they do that because they don't want to get out too early and disclose too much that would possibly I guess discourage somebody from coming. So I usually find out about it at the same time it's announced to the public on our local initiatives like that.
Ah. Okay. Well, is there anything in the budget? I mean, July 1st is coming up real soon, John. When do you think the budget's going to be? Don't they have a what is it called? A conference committee working on that now?
They do, and we have a lot of controversial things from both the Senate and the House in the budget this year. I have no idea what this conference committee is going to come out with. I'm hoping that they can get rid of things like, funding of drag shows and paying for sandbar for $32 million and things like that. But we just got to see what they come out with. And, I always hate to vote against the budget. The budget does a lot of great things for our state. We balance the budget every year. And that's a strong thing for our state. We're unlike Washington, where it's completely dysfunctional, and we're now in trillions of dollars of debt. We don't have anything like that in our state, and as far as I'm concerned, we never will.
So, and don't you have to vote on it though? Even after it comes out of conference committee, don't you have to vote on it?
We do, and we vote first in the House line by line, and I vote for 99% of those lines. Then it comes back, and we have to vote on the whole budget. And so that's where it becomes sticky because, I don't want to give myself a raise. I don't want to do some of these things that we have a problem with. So it's always an issue at the end, whether there's too many problems in the meal or not. I liken it to getting a filet mignon meal. Most of it is great, but there might be a few little things crawling around in that meal that we don't want.
Right.
And the question is whether if I vote against it, it's not a vote against the budget, actually. It's a vote to send it back to the conference committee to fix things that are problems in it.
So do you think this budget's going to be ready to go by July 1st?
I believe it will. They normally will get that done in that conference committee fairly quickly.
Okay. Well, they've been working on it or not? Because, y'all gave it to them a while back, I think. So I guess maybe the elections have kept things from happening. I don't know.
Well, they meet behind the scenes, and they do publish when they meet, but there's a lot of negotiation that has to happen between the Senate Finance and the House Ways and Means, and even the governor gets involved sometimes. So it's a process. It's kind of it's not real easy to understand and easy to happen. But there's a lot of negotiation that goes on.
Okay. Well, what else would you like to talk about here, John?
Well, I'm just thankful for you that you have done a great job for Greenwood during these elections. I enjoyed hearing Cody Simpson yesterday. He really did a good job on your show, and I think he is the man for the job. He has got a great reputation. He's been very honest and forthright. He's a family guy. He's got good values, and he's passionate for our farmers in our state. And I think he said he's a fifth-generation farmer.
Correct.
And he farms real crops.
Yeah.
He's not just growing hemp for the THC industry. He's growing vegetables and things that we eat,
Yeah, absolutely. Well, he did seem, and he brought me sunflower seeds. So, right there, that puts him in a positive note right there, sunflower seeds. So, well, anyways,
right.
John,
Right.
I think futuristically looking forward, what's going to be on your list of things that need to get done down there in the state?
Well, I've got a list of about 50 things, but
50?
But,
I don't have
generally, I
time
would
for
say-
50, John.
I know. Let me just make a broad statement. We're going to continue, and we've never backed down from this. We're going to continue to stand up for our Christian conservative values, life. We're going to support law enforcement officers. We're going to support our first responders and our veterans. And we're going to try to stand up for the families who make South Carolina a great place to live. So there are a lot of bills that pertain to these things, but that's generally what we want to do, and that's always been my agenda, and that's my constituents' agenda as well.
Well, that sounds good. At least there's a little respite until coming up, September, October? That's when things will really heat back up in our state as we get ready for November elections.
That's right. And we'll be planning in the meantime. We don't ever stop, and we'll be planning for what we can do as a family caucus in our state, what we can do to stand up for all these principles, and we'll be doing our work this summer.
Yes, I understand. Well, are you going to be stumping for Stumbo? I like that one, stumping for Stumbo. There you go.
I'm gonna be doing everything I can. I'm gonna be texting people, calling people, getting out our social media all throughout the state, and hopefully we'll get enough. It's gonna be a close race.
Yes.
But I believe if the Lord is willing, we can get David Stumbo in there and have a righteous man in office.
Well, I think David would do a great job. I will be sad if he does win, though, because he won't be here in Greenwood in our district.
Well, that's right, Ann, but he'll make sure we're taken care of. I guarantee you that. And there's some people waiting in the wings that I think are competent to do the job here and continue the legacy he's leaving.
Okay. All right. Well, that sounds excellent. Well, I know you're going to be probably interested to see what happens at County Council tonight. Like I said, they're supposed to put that moratorium amendment into the mix, and we'll have to see how that fares going forward. Anything else you'd like to say, John, before I let you go?
No, Ann, I appreciate you, and I'm sorry I missed Penny today, but we'll come by.
All right. You have a great day and get some rest. Thank you so much for calling in this morning.
Thank you, Ann.
All right. Bye-bye. All right. Well, that is Representative John McCravy right here on us. He is on to his next part of his journey to being reelected to the House of Representatives for Greenwood County. I think we can definitely say that he is in the court with David Stumbo for South Carolina State Attorney, and also for Cody Simpson. We did have a good interview yesterday afternoon with Cody Simpson. If you missed it, you can hear it right here on Facebook Live. We are Facebook Live right now. If you'd like to leave a comment there, love to hear from you this morning. Penny was, how's Penny doing over there? Well, let's check on Penny. Penny says, without treats, I'm not very interested. Is that what you said? Yes. I thought you told me he was coming by. I am so sorry, Penny. I am so sorry. He did not come by. Well, maybe he'll send a treat over, or maybe he'll stop by. All right. Well, let's talk about a few things here today. I didn't realize we were supposed to have rain this morning. Walked outside, thought it was cloudy, but didn't realize we were having some rain. Let's check the weather here real quick. I knew it was going to be cooler. Let's see. Let's maybe do this. Right now it is 70 degrees out there, so it is nice and cool. We are looking for a high today of 77, low of 68. Next hour rain chance is about 90%. 90%. Rain early, then remaining cloudy with showers in the afternoon. Chance of rain all day long, about 90%. On Wednesday, though, the rain will be gone. We'll be at a high of 86, partly sunny skies, about a 20% chance of rain. Thursday, we come in with a high of 85, a low of 70, but about a 50% chance of rain, cloudy in the morning, then off and on rain showers during the afternoon. It looks like we're pretty much in this cycle. You know, when you live in Florida, particularly down in the southern part of the state, every day you get thunderstorms or showers. I'll never forget the first time I was down there and I thought, here I am in sunny Florida, and every afternoon it was shower after shower after shower. And finally you just go, yeah, it's just a shower, Ann, and then we move on from that. But the rest of the week looks like Thursday, rain, Friday, rain, and Saturday, those going to be cleared off. So a high of 85 on Thursday, high of 83 on Friday, lows in the upper 60s for both those nights, which could be rather refreshing. All right, well, I've got some other news to talk about. I don't know whether you knew about this or not. Oh, it's 10 o'clock in the great state of South Carolina, and right here on WCRS Radio. Have you heard about the time capsule? The time capsule that they are making for our nation's 250th anniversary, and that it will be buried up there in Philadelphia for the next 250 years. did you know about this? I found this fascinating. I mean, there's lots of fascinating stuff that's going on with the 250th anniversary, of course. But this is something that I think is kind of flying under the radar. So I wanted to just share this with you because they've looked for contributions from all 50 states, Washington, D.C., and the 5 U.S. territories, each offering a distinct record of local history, identity, culture, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so items from Congress, the Supreme Court, and the executive branch, and student submissions from America's 250 America's Field Trip Contest, which is preserving the voices and perspectives of young people. They have a handheld commemorative American flag from the 2026 Rose Parade. This I thought was most interesting. A Coca-Cola glass contour bottle housing commemorative artifacts, including a preserved copy of the sheet music for I'd like to buy America Coke. I mean, what would you put in a time capsule? But here's the interesting thing. We spent a ton of money figuring out what kind of time capsule we could put together that would last 250 years. And even as they're doing this, they don't know whether it'll last 250 years. So they spent all this time coming up with the type of items that could go in it. So let's see, where was it? They thought that they would like to do a star. That would be pretty cool. But they couldn't get a star because there were too many flat surfaces and corners and everything. So they have a 900 pound steel cylinder that they're going to put this stuff in. So don't you find that interesting? I just thought that was terrific. That was terrific. I'm trying to think. I had more information about this, but this time capsule will be buried on July 4th in Philadelphia, 10 to 15 feet deep. It will have some all these different things in it. It's got a full collection of items that will be preserved inside the capsule for the next 250 years. Established in America's 250 founding public law, the time capsule reflects a national responsibility to preserve a representative record of the United States at 250 years, to be opened in 250 years. Now, question. Who will be around to know that all these things were actually preserved and move forward? That is the thing about it. And this actually the Congress had to come up with a directive to do this time capsule. I wanted to find you, let's see, I had the information about what was going into what South Carolina. Now, all the states sent stuff, and then they, this group of people would decide what could go in it. Of course, nothing paper. Let's see, what did they say? Nothing paper, because paper will disintegrate. No leather, no food. Of course. Can you imagine? They showed a picture of an apple pie 250 years from now. Yes, I don't think that would work very well. But anyway, South Carolina items for the 250 time capsule. Let's see if I can find it again, because I had it last night. For the 250 time capsule in 2026. E26. Enter. Yes. All right. Let's see if they found it. Let's see. They say, I just thought this was interesting. A commemorative challenge coin and a commemorative pin. North Carolina was sending archival letters and state artifacts selected to represent its cultural history. Georgia State Commission documents student submissions and localized community records. Now, I didn't know if you know this, but they actually had a place where people could sign good wishes to be put in this cylinder, to put in the ground. And they were going to pick out, I don't know how many, but they were going to pick out a bunch to go in there. New Mexico put a classic Southwestern bolo tie. West Virginia set a piece of coal in the shape of West Virginia that had been made into the shape of West Virginia. Utah had 100 cards featuring historical citizens, 13 coins, documents, and granite discs. So this is something that I just found kind of cool. It's a 900-pound steel cylinder containing over 200 artifacts, records, and objects to tell America's history when it's opened 250 years later. It was a nonpartisan commission. Well, hallelujah for that. Designed by Congress to organize the July 4th event celebration, spearheaded the work to design the capsule and collect relics. So there you go. All 50 states with numerous organizations ranging from a vial of sand to an Olympic gold medal. And lots of documents. They even had what was I reading? Some DNA of, was it Lincoln or something, that was on a document that he had signed or something. Somehow they were able to extract that. So all this kind of stuff is pretty interesting. Maine contributed a whalebone and a woven bookmark. And it's going to be put in the ground on July 4th up there in Philadelphia, 10 to 15 feet deep. So there you go. Some of the things that were kind of interesting. From Arkansas, a diamond found at the crater of Diamond State Park. From California, a Claude AI prediction of what California will be like in 250 years. On archival paper, this will serve as a tangible representation of AI in 2026. And of course, then they're going to try to be figuring out, is it anywhere close to what this thing said? So I thought it was kind of neat. From that standpoint, it caught my attention. Let's see if there's anything else from South Carolina. Let me see if I can see. A coin commemorating the work done by the state's 250th commission. That's it. That's all. All these other places have several things. From South Dakota, a poetry book celebrating the state's rivers, wildlife, and homestead culture through a special edition of This Far Country, authored by Joseph Bottom. All right, we did a coin. We're done. We make it simple. We make sure that ours gets in there, no question. All right. Well, anyways, that's just a little fun story that I thought was interesting for you here today. We've got more that we could talk about here this morning. But Penny, do you have anything else you'd like to say? I did have something else I think I was supposed to tell you. I can't remember. All right. Don't forget, you need to, if you're not going to be, not guest view. How about penny view? There you go. If you're going to be available tonight, there is going to be a county council meeting. You can go and watch it, or you can watch it on YouTube. Starts at 5:30. Of course, they have their executive session at 4. Starts at 5:30, or you can be there in person. They will have I know they will have no discussion on first reading on the moratorium. I know in the public comment, I believe they could have some public comment. You probably, I'm doing this from memory, you probably would have to sign up for that by today at noon through county council if you want to make a public comment. So just FYI, but they won't be taking any comments on the first reading of the moratorium for 12 months. Some people have been upset that they did not go with the 2-year. I tell you what, where I weigh in on that, it's a year, and if it needs to be extended, it can be extended. If we can come out of it, we can come out of it in 6 months if we have the information. So I think this was a good balance. And we'll have to see where it goes. It's going to first reading. Second reading would be on the July, 5th or 7th, I think it is, July 7th. And then the third reading would be 2 weeks after that, so probably, the 21st on the moratorium. The question that I have, and I don't know the answer to, is the third reading is not supposed to come up on the text amendment until July 7th. So I think there's a lot of question as to how this would go. Would the text amendment pass? Would it not pass? Would there be a vulnerability on a data center? These are all the questions I don't know the answers to. But the very fact that a moratorium is in the pipeline, I personally think is a good thing and gives a lot of choice. All right, in closing, I did want to say that I was checking out, yes, right here. I was checking out the songs that are our state songs, and I found out something that I hope I'm going to share with you. Thought it was going to come up here. Yes, here we go. There are two things that are new. While I Breathe, I Hope by James Gray is a song that has been put out there. It is a new, it's a choral anthem for South Carolina. But I'm missing the article. Where did it go? I hate when this happens, and I think I'm prepared. I was surprised to find out something else I didn't know about. That's so unlike you, Ann. That is so unlike you not to know what's going on. But I didn't. And, Patrick Davis is a artist here from, musical artist here from South Carolina. And he, along with Darius Rucker and Edwin McCain, have done a song. And God, my computer is moving so slow this morning. And they did a song, and it is an official song of South Carolina. Now, we've had several over the years. Yes, I'm having problems here this morning. But this one is a new one. And I think what I'm going to do, at least I hope I'm going to do, is be able to play part of it because it is a great song. And the three of them have come together. And maybe I can still get this to come up so I can tell you more about it. It was just something that was posted that I didn't realize was out there. I am having computer malfunction. This is called Patrick Davis with Darius Rucker and Edwin McCain. It is Carolina When I Die. I think I'll play part of it and then see if I can still get this computer to work here today. Let's take it away. See if that's going to work.
I've rambled all around this world, seen the northern lights. I have drank with kings and queens and senoritas of the night. I've been lost up in Alaska, lived in Ohio, but when the good Lord comes a-calling, let me tell you where I'll go. Take me back to Carolina when I die. Take me back to Carolina when I die. Though I don't believe that heaven is only in the sky, take me back to Carolina when I die.
Yeah, I've seen tornadoes twisting across the Texas plains, and I've watched the palm trees swaying above the angels in L.A. But there's another like a crescent moon peeking through the pines. Take me back to Carolina when I die.
So take me back to Carolina when I die.
Take me back to Carolina when I die.
No, I don't believe that heaven is only in the sky. Take me back to Carolina when I die. Well, I hear there are golden streets, mansions in the air, and my friends and my family and my dogs will all be there.
Yeah, I hope that I can make it, but I'll only stay a while,
'Cause I'm going to Carolina when I die. So take me back to Carolina when I die.
take me back to Carolina.
Isn't that a beautiful song? I think that's beautiful. That's now. I can tell you all about this because I have finally found it on my phone. So this is, there's two things. One, they've done an anthem titled While I Breathe, I Hope, is meant to be timeless. We'll have to play that for you another day, but, that was one thing, and then a couple of things they've made changes. The anthem was among 3 official state designations passed by the legislature this year. The honorary warbler became the state migratory bird in February, a distinction from the Carolina wren, which has been the state bird since 1948. How would you like to be not being the Carolina wren? You've been booted out, and this other bird, the honorary warbler, and Carolina When I Die was signed into law as the official state song on May 18th. The 2024 release of that song, written by Camden native Patrick Davis, features 2 other South Carolina singer-songwriters, Darius Rucker and Edwin McCain. It's actually the 3rd official song following designations of Carolina in 1911 and South Carolina on My Mind in 1984. So anyways, I think this is pretty cool that Patrick Davis, Darius Rucker, and Edwin McCain now have the official song, Carolina When I Die. Now, what does that say about us? Anyways, I love that song. I've liked it for a long time. So glad that was, and that's something that just kind of slid through, and I didn't hear much about it. So that is there. But then they've also done While I Breathe, I Hope, which was signed into law on May 15th, is the official anthem. Like the Star-Spangled Banner, the national anthem, it's intended to be an uplifting unifier. And this, I guess, was written by Kevin James Gray. And this, Mr. Gray says, I specifically wanted this to be a choral work because choral music is fundamentally a community activity. Whether it's sung by a middle school choir, a high school ensemble, a school choir, or a collegiate chorus, the goal has always been for people to experience the joy of making music together. He composed the anthem 13 years ago when he was a minister of music at River Hills Community Church near Lake Wiley. And so it goes on and talks about this. This was a decade-long process, but it is now an official anthem of South Carolina. So we're not going to play that today, but I will pull that up. They had a choral group, a high school choral group that is just beautiful, and I want to play that for you. But I did want to tell you that this is what is happening. Even when you think you are most up to things, little things slide through. So we do have the new song, Carolina When I Die is the new song for South Carolina. I like that song a lot. I hope you like it too. And then there is a new anthem, which is quite something that While I Breathe, I hope has been around for a very, very long time. Actually was a Latin phrase that South Carolina adopted. So that, my friends, is what is going to do it for me. I got a lot of work to do and a lot of things to see. And tomorrow morning, right here on the I Love Ann show, we are going to have Lieutenant Governor Pamela Evett will join us. And on Thursday morning, South Carolina Attorney General Alan Wilson. Both of these two candidates are going for what? They're going to be the governor. One of them is going to move forward in this runoff election. As John McCravy said this morning, it is important. It is important that you get out there and vote. It's important that you listen to what these two candidates are going to say, and it is very important, in my opinion, to watch the debate tonight because one of the questions we have, will Lieutenant Governor Pamela Evett show up? She didn't do very much in the debates going into the primary. Will she be on the debate floor? They say yes, so I want to see what is being said tonight. So that is at 7 o'clock, I believe, on Gray Media. It will be televised. You will be able to watch it, so check that one out. And then we will have her on Wednesday, tomorrow morning, right after the debate. So we'll have to have some questions for that. Don't forget, County Council is also going on tonight. 5:30 is the public meeting. They go into executive session, as always, at 4 p.m. That is, my friends, going to do it for me today. This is WCRS Radio. We are going to drop that curtain. We are going to see if we can play some music today. I think Ann's computer is tired. She's been pushing it pretty hard. So that's going to do it for me. Have a great one, everybody. Bye-bye. Take it away.